Hi, everyone. I'm 10 Tampa Bay meteorologist James Gregorio, and the Saturday edition of Weather Impact Live. Thank you for joining us. I am joined by my co-host, Lee Southwick. First Coast News up in the First Coast, up there, like in northeastern Florida. And
we're up here. Hey,
up there.
How are you doing down in the Bay Area?
I'm doing well. How about you? You got a team that's actually made the playoffs.
Oh, we have had so much fun this whole week, not to rub it in, but this whole week and today's shows were great. Hold on, I'm going to stand up really quick. Don't worry, everyone. I am wearing my Jags. There you go. Got the skirt in. Go Jags. Got the print on. I can't wear teal, as you know, James, because it kind of goes see-through. It still has that green in it, so in front of the green screen. So got to wear the Jags print, you know.
There you go.
I'm sure you have the same struggle. You like to wear your cheetah and leopard and Jags print.
Yeah, I couldn't wear my leopard today. I was very unfortunate. I had to skip it, you know.
Oh, well, you know what? It's okay. We play tomorrow, so you can wear it tomorrow.
That's true. I'll try and break it out. You know, I'm sure I got something leopard somewhere. But I'll be in solidarity with you since our Bucks did not make the playoffs, as you know, unfortunately. But hey, you know, at least the Jags are there. But you know what? Everyone loves Josh Allen, so it's going to be a good game between Josh Allen and Trevor Lawrence.
Josh Hines Allen, as in the Jags player, is what you mean. Everyone loves him.
Yeah. I forgot about that. That's right. That's right. Little Hines in there, too, you know. Everybody needs some ketchup. So I forgot about that.
But it's always fun seeing Josh Allen take on Josh Allen. That's always a fun thing.
Yeah, I'm sure it will be. It's going to be a game tomorrow with a couple gunslingers there, airing it out, taking on the run. And so we'll see. I'm looking forward to it, no doubt. All right, let's jump into the forecast a little bit first and foremost. Locally here in the Bay Area. And Lee, you know, we have just a fantastic day. We actually had a little inland fog this morning. Did you guys have any fog up there?
We had some fog today, but I will say it was not nearly as bad as it was this whole week. Every morning we had weather impact alerts due to dense, bad fog. And today some areas saw it, but again, it wasn't nearly as bad as what it was during the work week. Yeah,
no doubt. You know, and it was brief. It wasn't as dense. It wasn't as long-lived. As soon as the sun started hammering a little bit, we're going to be 82 here today. So, you know, the sun's going to do its trick. But, you know, I just saw some dew point temperatures before. We were pushing 70 on some of these dew points. So it is a really warm, almost record-breaking tropical air mass that's in place. And
same for us. You know, actually, our forecast, we're going 84 today at the Jacksonville airport. So even maybe a degree or two warmer than you. And our record high here in Jacksonville is 82. So if we're at 82 or above, we have some record high temperatures here. What about you guys with your records?
Unbelievable. Yeah, we were 85 yesterday on the record, a similar record today. So, yeah, not record breaking, but certainly abnormally warm for this time of year. Our normal high is about 71. Yours has got to be lower than that for this time of year as well.
66. Yeah, 65, 66, right around there. So definitely unseasonably warm and muggy. You know, you mentioned the dew points, the moisture in the atmosphere, kind of just making it feel much more like a spring-like day rather than January.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. So total beach day. You know, I'm going to be probably too tired, too lazy to head to the beach, but I think I will head to the pool. So there's that.
Nice.
There's that.
And that's why I was telling everyone here locally, too, to go to the beach here as well, especially since we got a big game. You know Bill's Mafia travels.
That's
I'm
right.
Sure there's a lot of people from Buffalo here, too, and I've told them all today's your beach day. I'm sure tomorrow they think the 60s is also wonderful compared
100%.
to what they're dealing with normally in January. But at least here locally in Jacksonville, today's our beach day. Tomorrow, worst day, some rain in the morning, cloudy, cooler. What about you guys?
Yeah, tomorrow we have the chance for a few showers. You know, yet another cold front that does have cold air with it, but, you know, the rain really doesn't hold up too well frequently by the time the front gets to the Bay Area. So you guys get more of the shellacking with the cold front. You have a higher potential for severe weather. You have heavier rain, and it just doesn't hold up as well for us in the Bay Area. In fact, this morning I saw there was a confirmed tornado in Mississippi, tornado warnings in place in Alabama, severe thunderstorm warning in place in Alabama as well. So that front has got some, you know, decent dynamics with it, but by the time it gets to us, kind of loses steam, if you will.
And same for us here too, just for anyone watching right now. I don't think either of us, we don't have that severe weather threat. So that's some good news to kick off this stream with.
Yeah, no doubt. So thankfully things will mellow out. You'll get some rain. You have a higher chance of rain than we do. The front kind of stays in place, stays together, kind of washes out a little bit for us, but it is what it is. All right, so Lee, taking a look outside here in Tampa, we're already at 77 in Tampa. St. Pete is at 77, Clearwater at 77 as well. Futurecast says, you know what, we're 80 as we move towards 3 o'clock this afternoon. We're at 77 at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon with a southwestern wind at about 9, and then heading in towards this evening, still very much so on that mild side here. 8 o'clock, we're still over 70. Southerly wind here, still on the warm side. It looks great as we head through the overnight hours. Might see a little fog try to redevelop tomorrow morning, 4 or 5 o'clock or so in the morning. Still quiet, 8 o'clock or so, 9 o'clock, couple shower chances here, trying to move in towards Pinellas County, into Clearwater, into Indian Rocks Beach, perhaps up towards Tarpon Springs as well, and, a couple isolated little showers moving through. Then that kind of fizzles out by 3 o'clock or so. About the time the Bills are done beating the Jags, it's about the time that things kind of mellow out a little bit. All right, so visibility looks like this. It's much, but did you hear that, Lee, when I said the Bills beating the Jags? I don't know if you caught that.
Is my mic up yet?
Yeah, you're up.
Hello?
You're up.
Is my mic back?
So I will give you ample opportunity.
Okay, now my mic is back.
Ample opportunity to counter.
Yeah, don't worry. Just know that when you said that, I literally went, wow. So noted. I want to hear you give your best Duval by the end of this stream, please. So please work on warming up those vocal cords
I'll
for
try.
me.
I can't carry a tune from here to the camera, which is like 4 feet away. So that's probably not going to work out too well.
You'll do a great job. I can't wait to hear it. Anyway, go ahead. Back to Tampa Bay weather.
Yeah, we digress. Anyway, satellite and radar shot, Lee, showing that things are quiet. No issues or problems here. Temperatures, the Gulf is now back up to 69 degrees, Gulf temperature. It was as low as 66 over the last few days. So nice little heater we're on. Riverview at 78, Fishhawk at 79, Sun City already at 81 degrees. Lakewood Ranch at about 76, Sarasota at about 78 degrees. And speaking of Lakewood Ranch, big soccer tournament going on there at the Premier Field Complex. So a bunch of girl soccer players playing here for the ECNL, which is the Elite Club National League, big feeder program into college athletics. So they are playing in Lakewood Ranch all weekend long. So that's going on, obviously, here in the Bay Area. End of the month, we have Gasparilla. So there's just so much happening. All right, so current winds, for the most part, anywhere from 7 to 15 miles an hour. So those winds, a little breezier in Clearwater and St. Pete. Otherwise, calm further inland where we had the fog issues this morning. And there is that front as we head in towards this afternoon and getting a little bit closer to us overnight, and then there it is tomorrow. So the front comes through. I've been talking about midday time frame. On this particular model, it looks like the front's a little more robust, I guess you'd say. We'll see. But 11 o'clock tomorrow, through the Bill domination of the Jaguar game time frame tomorrow, and then there it goes, moving a little further offshore. So, all right, Lee, run it down here. I want to see all those cool Jacksonville Jaguar, Trevor Lawrence type graphics you may have. Go Jags.
Okay.
Go Jags.
We're gonna clip that and just have you on repeat saying that over and over again. Yes. You know what? So we of course have to start with a live look over Everbank Stadium because it looks beautiful as always. And unfortunately, though, tomorrow it will not look like this at this time. Right now you see a lot of blue in the sky. Tomorrow we'll have cloud cover and maybe a few little sprinkles and showers out there. I think it would be earlier in the morning by this point, but still some rain chances in the morning, as James was talking about. So as for right now and for today, it is a beach day here as well. Our temperatures are sitting in the 70s across the area. Some clouds out there, but pretty much staying dry today. and we're going to warm up under the sunshine that we do see. 78 degrees right now at the Jacksonville Airport, 77 in Mayport and St. Augustine and Palm Coast. Waycross, you're at 76 already. So very warm temperatures. Of course, we're just continuing to warm up. And there's your dew points too, sitting in the 60s. So it's feeling a little bit warmer and muggier out there today. Our high temperatures getting up into the 80s. In fact, this one graphic here too, I've been trying to edit it all day to bump those 80s up a little bit. Just doesn't want to take for some reason. But temperatures getting into the 80s, right around 84. And as we mentioned at the top of this stream, that would be record heat for the Jacksonville Airport. If we reach 82, 83, 84, we have a record high here at Jacksonville International Airport. I think today's highs are going to be right around 80 for most of us, even along the beaches, upper 70s to near 80 degrees, and that's probably more right on the sand, staying in the 70s. You walk a few blocks inland, you're sitting at 80 degrees. It's going to be a warm one for us all across the First Coast. And again, normally we're in the middle 60s this time of year, so this is much warmer than normal. And if you like the warmer air, you got to get out and enjoy it today because, as mentioned, that cold front is on the way. So it could bring a few showers. We're not expecting a washout. Maybe a few little drizzles for the Waycross area closer to 2 to 3 a.m. Brunswick, Folkston to Lake City, that would be around 6 a.m. And then moving through Duval, 7 a.m., 8 a.m., maybe even a few lingering around 9 to 10 a.m. So if you're tailgating early tomorrow, be aware there could be a few sprinkles out there. The ground's still damp from where the rain does fall. But by 1 o'clock kickoff, notice the rain's out of here. Still some cloud cover out there to start, and then we'll try to see some clearing during the game. So for your tailgating forecast, here we go. Here's all of our pretty graphics, our Jags graphics. So stray shower possible early, overcast during that time, and your temperatures. This is a cold front, so our temperatures are much cooler tomorrow. Today we're in the 80s, tomorrow we're in the 60s. And notice I said winds picking up. It's going to get breezy. So during the game, as we are kicking the Bills' butts, right? Temperatures in the 60s, but with that breeze and the cloud cover, it's going to feel a little bit cooler out there. So what I have been saying is this is cooler weather. So I think a lot of us local Jags fans will need a jacket, but I think those visiting from Buffalo will think it will be just fine, nice and toasty. But even if they're visiting today, going from the 80s to the 60s is quite a difference. But us locals, we're going to pack the bank, go Jags, but we will be needing our teal jackets. I think it's a teal out, so everyone wear your teal, and but make sure to bring the long sleeves too for us, where we think it's a little bit cooler, especially by the end of the game, 62 with the cloud cover and the breeze. It will feel chilly. Now, James might completely disagree with me because he is from the north. I don't know, James, what do you think? You think this is okay? You think everyone visiting from Buffalo is probably laughing at us in our long sleeves?
Totally. They might actually be hot at 65 here and maybe lamenting the fact that the game is not played when it's snowing out, you know? So, yeah, I think they'll be quite comfortable.
Okay. I think, comfortable enough to, a lot of people here do say this is football weather. It's not Buffalo football weather with snow, but it is cooler and cloudier. And I will say that I also have a friend who I worked with in a previous market who now works in Rochester, New York. But he was forecasting for the game, talking about, a cold front's coming. And I guess the Bills have cold front jerseys that they've worn.
Oh,
so he was
really?
like, I think this is a good omen, something like that. So I responded to him, of course, on Facebook and said that the last time the Bills played the Jags here locally, this was the same weather, temperatures in the 60s and cloudy, and we got away with the W. We won. Just to let it be known, this forecast and this this is lined up for us before. But with that said, I have a lot of very angry Bills fans in my mentions telling me that I think I made a joke, something like, I think it's still a little too warm for you because the Jags bring the heat. And they were calling me names and saying, did you know it gets warm here in summer? Yes, I know it gets warm in summer. It's January, okay? So anyway, I'll get off my soapbox now.
Right. Well, Buffalo has still never, ever in its history had a 100-degree day, ever.
Wow.
Right. So we've had a 100-degree. We just hit our first one here in Tampa last summer. It was our first ever 100-degree day. So obviously, because of the dynamics and geography and everything else, we haven't had a 100-degree day. But we have now. They have still not had a 100-degree high temperature in Buffalo. I mean, they've come really close. I don't know what their all-time record is, probably like 98, but they have not hit triple digits. So, yeah, that's a fair assessment.
So it's hotter here because the Jags stay hot. We're on fire, baby.
We're on fire. Yeah, something like that. All right, Lee. Yeah, so let's dive into a little bit more. We could just sit here and, ponder and pontificate who's going to win the game. But there is some weather moving along we should probably get to. So, hey, the good news is that tornado warning, that has come down for portions of Alabama. You can still see there's a couple severe thunderstorm warnings up, not only in Alabama, but now into Georgia, just south of Atlanta. So if you've got a flight, in and out of Hartsfield International Airport in Atlanta, that is going to be problematic in the short term here with that cold front moving through. So Lee and I have talked about the cold front. We have talked about how it may impact or impede that little football game between the Bills and, our friends, right? So there we go. So, the dew point temperature, look at that drop here in the Bay Area from 63 to 31 on Monday. So
that's nice.
The drier air really gets in here. We're back to good hair days and low humidity and all that sort of fun stuff for Monday and Tuesday. Starts to come up on Tuesday. And then by Wednesday, we're back into the humid conditions, out ahead of our next cold front, which comes in later in the week. All right, so let's go back to that travel forecast. You can see, again, on the travel map here, the rain is draped all the way from portions of western New York through Pennsylvania and then down in towards Florida. But as we move in towards early Sunday morning, it just doesn't look overly impressive for Florida, at least. Well to the north looks a little more impressive Sunday midday, but I think, again, right around game time is your better bet for a few showers. So if you're watching the game locally here in the Tampa area, maybe, Bills fans at the patio bar, you might get into the act with a couple showers if you're outside. If you're elsewhere, you may get into the act with a couple showers as well. And then there is the snow on the backside of this in towards western New York, which doesn't even look very impressive. And then by Tuesday morning, a little more snow and rain kind of gearing up and queuing up. By Wednesday, look at that. Florida looks like it's covered and smothered with some rain. And boy, we need it here. So that'd be great news, Lee, not just for us here in the Bay Area, but also in Jacksonville. And then that moisture kind of feeds into that next front by Thursday morning. You could see, again, still pinwheeling moisture around through Florida, through the Gulf, and finally out of here on Thursday. So, Wednesday, Thursday, a good soaker here in Florida. A couple ugly days, but by Friday morning, see you goodbye, out of here. And then Saturday morning, look at that. 6 a.m. Saturday, Lee, you're down to 43 degrees in Jacksonville. Tampa starts out at 48. It's a little chilly there. So there it is. We have about a 40% chance of rain on Wednesday. And then Thursday, some heavier rain as well. I suspect a couple weather impact alerts coming out here Wednesday and Thursday as well. So things start to get a little more interesting, Lee. And let's take a look. You know how I like to draw a little bit, right? There we go. So we got a lot going on. There's a lot to unpack upstairs, shall we say, as we head into Wednesday. Look at that digging trough. I mean, that thing is just making a run for the border, right? So there it is. Look at that. And oh my. Lee, it looks like by Thursday, you have the 540 line over Jacksonville. So, that is a parameter that we use in the weather world. We often, up north, call the 540 line the rain-snow line. So you have that hovering right over Jacksonville. Isn't that great?
And that's why, for Friday morning, I dropped our lows to 32 for that Friday morning here in Jacksonville. They were a little bit higher, but like what we're seeing now, this morning's runs have come in colder. And so I do have that freezing temperature, at least for parts of the First Coast by Friday morning. So if we jump over to my graphics, I say Monday is the return of winter too, because that's when our temperatures get into the 50s. So as we talked about, tomorrow's cooler, 60s, some showers in the morning, and then cloudy and 60s and breezy. But it's even colder on Monday. Our temperatures drop into the 50s in the afternoon, and we'll start off in the 30s. So a chilly day on Monday. And then we're back to closer to normal on Tuesday and Wednesday. We're back into the 60s. So still much cooler compared to today while we have these record highs. And our lows, though, they get down into the 30s as mentioned for Monday, but they stay there Tuesday. 40s on Wednesday and Thursday, and then you just saw that big dip in the jet stream, the big blast of cool air. So here's my 7-day forecast. I have Thursday staying in the 50s. We could pull that, there we go. 50s on Thursday, and then that morning I have us going to freezing. And you know, James, something that we're going to watch closely, obviously, is what you were just showing us, and I wouldn't be surprised if we end up dropping that Friday morning low maybe a degree or two more, maybe 31, maybe 30. So something we're going to watch closely here. But at least here on the first coast, we are expecting some freezing temperatures by the end of the week.
It is going to get cold for sure. And look at the upper air pattern here. By the time we make our way in towards, quasi upper air pattern, by the time we make our way towards Saturday, the pattern certainly gets just bizarro. I mean, it's like, here we go. Here's the, it is just kind of all over the road on Saturday. The core of the cold air still locked up in Canada, but here it is. You get a little piece of the polar vortex that drives diving down, and this is a pretty, interesting pattern. There's, you have that diving down, then you have more upper air support kind of meeting it, a little bit of kind of phasing trying to take shape, and that core, that polar air slides off to the east. Really kind of interesting pattern. But going into that, I'll rewind this in a second because here's what I want to show you. Bear with me for a second. Oops, bear with me for 2 seconds. There we go. Let me rewind. And we're going to go back into that Wednesday, sort of Thursday time frame. There we go. That is a crazy snow potential pattern for folks up north. You can see the jet dipping all the way down to Florida, and you have the center of that, which is almost negatively tilted. You almost have a negatively tilted trough sitting in there, and that is a big snowmaker potential for folks up north. But yeah, that cold air is certainly going to dive south with that. You have the jet streams. We'll see if they phase, if they come together or not. That's a winter snow pattern right there. That is an East Coast potential snowmaker as we move in towards Thursday. Let me back up here just a little bit. So interesting to see. Nonetheless, 'tis the season. We'll see if that comes to fruition or not. I'm going to play this here for a second, play it through, and there it is by Thursday. Here's our sort of trough axis, and here, sort of negatively tilted, and those negatively tilted troughs do really well up north for snowmakers. So if these jets kind of come together and that negative tilted trough kind of does the dance there, that's a snowmaker for sure. And then you could see the lobes of the polar vortex kind of rotate around and drive more cold air in there. Welcome to January. No thanks. We're going to send it back. And then the following weekend, again, that ridiculous ridge is in place again in through portions of the west, and then here in the east, you got the cold air spilling down inside that trough and pushing down to New York, pushing down to D.C., and pushing. No, this is Monday. This is next, not this Monday, the following Monday, Monday the 19th. So that's Monday of Martin Luther King weekend, big travel weekend. So a lot of kids have off from school, national championship going on. There's a lot going on that weekend. So hopefully that is not the case. Going back to the humidity, that cold front, the first one here affecting us tomorrow in towards Monday. Certainly, we'll have some cool air with it and dry air with it, which is great news for us. So we get into some cooler and drier weather as well. All right, let's run you through the forecast here for us in the Bay Area. And it looks pretty good. It looks real good. Going to feel really nice. If you don't like warm weather, it may not feel nice. It's warm and muggy, 82. Warm day, humid day, those southwestern winds, southwest winds, pumping up the heat, throwing more heat than the Jacksonville Jaguars, or not. 64 tonight, mild night. It is on the clear side. Tomorrow, 76, and the chance for a few showers is here as well with that southwestern wind. A look at that 7-day forecast here, about a 20% chance of rain, spotty showers for tomorrow. Monday and Tuesday, you can see we start to warm up Tuesday out ahead of that cold front. That brings our high temperatures down into the lower 60s for Thursday and Friday with 30 and 40% chances of rain. I feel like Thursday we bumped up to 40, so we'll likely kick this live certainly by Monday with a weather impact alert, maybe tomorrow for beginning on Wednesday, and then for Monday beginning on Thursday as well. All right, let's send it back to Lee because she's got a team in the playoffs. And we don't. But anyway, Lee, I'm going to give you the last few words here. So go Jags.
We will take all of you as bandwagon fans gladly. Cheer for your Florida team. Come on, let's go Jags. Quick check of our forecast one more time for game time tomorrow. In case you're going to the game, maybe you're in the Tampa Bay area and you're driving over to the game, or of course you're already here on the First Coast. A few showers out there in the morning time. Cloud cover is going to stick around throughout the day, and temperatures will be in the 60s, plus it will be breezy, and so that will make it feel a bit cooler. So just one last look at your 7-day forecast. The cooling trend continues from there. We will be staying much cooler for the upcoming